Today I'm going to talk about the North Shore, my drive to the North Shore, Lutsen Mountains, and fishing in the North Shore. Wilderness is not a luxury, but a necessity of the human spirit by Edward Abbey. The drive coming into Duluth, the most beautiful city I've ever drove into in Minnesota. You come over the big hill and you just see the whole city. And then Lake Superior behind it. It's really breathtaking to me. I like the drawbridge, how old it is. I remember going on there when I was a kid. And then you got the famous lighthouse in Duluth on the North Shore. The drive along the North Shore, um, the National Forest, they're just so majestic. The famous restaurant, such as Betty's Pies, and then the tunnels, how they come off the side of the mountain and you go through them, and they're built out of rock. It's just so amazing and just a spiritual drive, actually. The scenic overlooks are another beautiful thing in Duluth, along as also along the North Shore, looking on the over Lake Superior and seeing the wildlife, the seagulls flying around. Sometimes you'll see other wildlife like deer. Next, I want to talk about Lutsen Mountains. When I went there, my resort was overlooking the side of the mountain and Lake Superior as well, right next to it. It was just so beautiful. It's a great place to go in the summer or winter, doesn't matter. Any time of year, they got so many things there to do uh, all year round, which is a nice part about having stuff to do in Minnesota. One thing to do in Lutsen is like the gondola and the alpine slides. The gondola goes up the side of Lutsen Mountains. You get to see all kinds of nature and wildlife, and the scene is just beautiful. And then the alpine slides, those bring me back to when I was a child. You get on these little like carts, and you have two brakes, hand brakes, to stop with, and you go flying down these alpine slides, and you can stop, and you get going pretty fast. I remember wiping out on them and hitting the side of the contraption that you're riding on, and getting like carpet burn all on my arm. So when I went there as an adult, I didn't go on them. And the things to do in the wintertime there are like skiing and snowboarding. That's the famous time of the year for Lutsen. In the summertime, it's a little more dead. Don't have that many people come there. But in the winter, skiing and snowboarding, those are Lutsen Mountains are the biggest mountains in Minnesota. So it's just a huge attraction area to professional skiers and snowboarders, along with expert level skiers and snowboarders. They got some beginner level stuff, but not as much for the intermediate and advanced level. Uh, in the summertime, there's hiking and stuff to do as well. The hiking is fun. I remember I didn't really do hiking. I went off roading with a Jeep, and that was pretty fun and wild. Brings me to my next thing is fishing. The fishing there is just so awesome. Fishing Lake Superior. You can go out on private charters or go out there. Recommend a big boat if you go further out, but if you stay near the shore, you can take a little tiny fishing boat out there. That's fine. The private charters are pretty expensive. They're about $250 a person for a good one. But the fishing is so awesome on Lake Superior because it's such a awesome experience. I like the fishing because out there you got bigger game and you got a lot of things you can catch. I like to catch all kinds of different stuff. It's really cold in Lake Superior. There's just a lot of sweet things about Lake Superior. It's actually the biggest freshwater lake in the world. And the rivers are uh, sweet fishing spot too. I was there. I fished out of the Temperance River. You have to climb down rocks to get there, and then you got the fish on top of the rock platforms. And when you look around, you just see two big walls of rock, and then a little bridge that people walk on to get from one side of the mountain or the rock mountain to the other side. And you're fishing down here in the low, and it's got a waterfall coming behind you, and it's just so, I want to say spiritual. I use that word a lot, but it is. It's a time where you can just reflect on yourself, and you breathe and smell the fresh air and the river and the trees. It's just a really great time. When I went fishing there, I fished on the river, and then I also fished on the lake. Took the boat about an hour and a half into the woods on these little roads that cars probably shouldn't even go on, but it was a road, got us to a lake, and you can't even see a house on these lakes. They're just filled with trees. The trees are so thick out there that you look around the whole lake and all you see is trees and then water. It's just so beautiful that I could spend all day out there, all day, every day. It's just so amazing and majestic, like I said. The North Shore is one of the most beautiful places in Minnesota that I have ever been. I never really appreciated it as a child as much as I do now, mostly because when I went there on my own, I realized what serenity was. Today I talked about the North Shore and my experience going there, the drive along the North Shore, the Lutsen Mountains, and fishing in Lake Superior, as well as the surrounding areas like in the lakes and the rivers. Thank you.